So many people are clear on the fact that often psychological research leaves autistic people out. Yet among these people, there may be many others, including myself, that may forget how deep this issue goes. My name's Leo, licensed mental health counselor, and I must explain why this is a real problem for mental health care. For me, it starts with the exclusion of autistic individuals within these studies, whose data is then used to inform us about conceptual models, new test measures, or, in the world of counseling, new ways of helping. And there clearly are a community of folks who don't think this is a big deal, but for me, the implications are massive. This might say that the exclusion ultimately threatens the legacy of the psychological constructs being studied, because if they weren't designed for everyone, then how reliable are they really? What do I mean by legacy? Well, let's start with a popular idea. Emotional granularity. You've definitely heard from me that naming your emotions help with emotional regulation. But most studies on this don't include autistic participants. And when they do, like in research from Williams and Gotham, the findings suggest that emotions are experienced and identified differently in autistic individuals, leaning heavily towards somatic or sensory-oriented methods in doing so. So when a therapist asks, "What do you feel right now?" just know that question may not work in the same way for everyone. Another example is cognitive flexibility. This is often defined as the ability to shift your thoughts or behavior into new situations. In some research, it has been used to suggest that autistic people are rigid or inflexible. However, studies from DeCruz and colleagues show that traditional measures of cognitive flexibility weren't designed with autistic problem solving in mind. So the problem isn't flexibility, it's that the measurement doesn't reflect how autistic people actually think. And then there's the theory of mind issue. Arguably the most controversial. It's the idea that autistic people lack empathy, which has persisted for decades. This was an idea that was forged under rigid test conditions and largely disregarded naturalistic and nonverbal cues of communication. But newer research, including work by Botha and Frost, shows that this isn't true. The real issue is what they coin as a double empathy problem, or a mismatch in communication styles between autistic and non-autistic people. And this mismatch goes both ways. So, in essence, when we leave autistic people out of research, we end up building treatments that don't fully work. We base our theories on partial truths, and we pathologize difference as dysfunction. But when autistic voices are included, yes, there must be more legwork in the research community to make this accommodation, yet in turn, our understanding of mental health becomes sharper and more purposeful. So if the research community could stop pretending that autistic lives don't exist or aren't worth accounting for future endeavors, that'd be great. Thanks. Like, comment, and follow me here on TikTok or YouTube for more evidence-based content. And if you've been disenfranchised by the fact that society wasn't created with your success in mind, please take this with you to therapy.